Welcome to Mrs. Perna's class.
Hi everyone. Welcome to part 1 of foam printing cityscapes for grade 1. What we're going to need today to start, we're going to need a piece of printing foam. It's ultra thin. We're going to use a Sharpie to write our name very gently on the back. And then we're going to be using pens to write on the surface to carve into the foam to create our print. Now we are creating a cityscape. In our cityscape, I would like us to have a foreground, which has buildings that are close. I would like it to have a middle ground, which are some buildings that are further back. And I would like a background. So foreground in the front, near the bottom, middle ground near the middle, and a background at the very top. Here's how we start. We're going to start out by drawing horizontal and vertical lines. No diagonals. We want to stay away from those diagonals because we want our city to have horizontal and vertical lines. We're going to start using a blue pen, and we are going to start out by drawing a horizontal, lift up, and then a vertical line, and then a horizontal, and a vertical. Depending on how long or short you make the lines is how we get a variety of different buildings. So we're going to keep going. You can do horizontal, vertical, horizontal, vertical, horizontal, vertical, horizontal, vertical, horizontal, vertical. Now I'm pressing pretty hard, but we're also going to go over this a second time with black to make sure that we really have this carved deep into our foam. Now try not to do the same buildings over and over again. Try to mix it up a little bit because we don't want boring buildings. I just want to thank Cassie Stevens for showing this idea, for doing this print. We changed things up just a little bit. Instead of using printing ink, we're going to end up using markers and turning this into a marker print. So there is our first set of buildings. Now our next one, we want to make sure that we do not do the exact same thing. We want our second set of buildings to be different. We want a variety. So horizontal, vertical, horizontal, vertical, horizontal, vertical. Now these buildings are much further back. So when we start adding details, these buildings will not be as clear in the details as our ones in the front, and I will show you that when we get to it. So you just keep going all the way across. So there we go. We have a set of buildings in the front, in the foreground, we have a set of buildings in the middle ground, and then we have a background where the sky will be. So we're going to continue with our blue pen, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull the vertical line all the way down to create individual buildings. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I think I'll split this building a little bit like that. So now I have some individual buildings in the front. Now comes the fun part. This is the only time you can start to use diagonal lines and other shapes. You can draw rooftops. You can draw domes, which is a semicircle. If you wanted, you could do some organic shapes like a raindrop top, also called an onion top, because it looks like an onion. You can start adding rectangle windows. You can add bigger windows. You can add lines, horizontal and vertical, and create panes of glass in your windows. You can do fancy semicircle windows like this. Don't forget, you can add doorways. You can add a square at the bottom, and if you put horizontal lines, you've got stairs. You can put doorknobs. You can put other shapes, like these little roofs. Some other things I've added to some of my drawings is I have done little letter U shapes like this, and added maybe a clothesline or triangle shapes makes it into little flags that are decorating the building. So there's all kinds of cool things you can do. Now, when it comes to our background, our middle ground buildings, they won't have as many details. So you can just put a few little windows just in the background, maybe just a few roofs. We're not going to see as much as we see in these front buildings. So let's see, maybe this is a sign. Remember, avoid using letters and numbers. If you make signs, make them using symbols. Like, for example, maybe this is a card shop and it's got a heart on it, so you can pick up cards. Maybe over here I'll put a sign and I'll put a dog bone. Maybe this is a pet shop. Here's the door. Maybe there's a window here with some puppies in it. Okay, so keep adding your decorations, and we'll see you in part 2.